We're live. That's it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Hang on, shall I play a starting video?
Oh, have we got one?
Yes, we don't have an official intro video yet.
I see. I was expecting a bit more, I'll be honest.
Yeah, that's just the default one that you can select at the start.
Come on.
I was wondering what number's coming next.
So, it countdown to just our gormless faces. Thank you very much.
I was going to create one of those face swap videos with compilation music and all that good stuff. So I'll get that on.
I must say
We're expecting big things.
We are all looking good today. Look, let's be honest. Let's do a little mini review of us first. So I think that's only fair, right?
Mini review of us.
So TJ, you're looking good. You got the Shaw microphone. You got your Star Wars vintage collection behind you. I can see a little Princess Leia looking good. It's a good point. Myself, I've got the whole Warhammer hobby cave all decked out. And let's look at Carlos.
He's got a curtain. A dirty curtain.
Gingham. Don't you know?
Oh man.
I recommend
in my cave. Dead.
Something.
See, I delayed this podcast start until all of this could be set up. I showed Carlos before you joined, by the way.
Pretty good.
But I've got quite a few bits and pieces. You can't see it on here, but it's all set up. But I'm not going to criticize other people's efforts at this stage.
Or lack of effort.
Until we actually get some viewers and some subscribers. I'm not really that fussed.
Someone's even vaguely interested in watching.
Yeah, it's all right. No one will see this.
Mugs like us.
I have actually checked. We are live now on YouTube, so it's there. Not that anybody will find it. It's called Lords of Death Movie Podcast #1.
Wow.
The Northman. There you go.
I don't think it's one. I think it's kind of a zero. You know, we're not quite into the ones yet. The positive
the pilot.
Well, it's the first one.
It's a pilot episode. And
yeah, it's still episode 1.
Sometimes pilots, you know what I mean.
Won't be picked up a series.
They get halfway through the episode, someone's going to pile in and go, "What
the budgets aren't going to be cut.
The budgets are going to be bad." And
I'm waiting for that budget money to get a proper backdrop.
Listen, Carlos, you are probably amongst the geekiest here, and you've got no geeky memorabilia here.
That's true.
Well, it's all forwards, so it's like on the desk rather than behind it. No, I probably don't have more.
I think you should put some posters at least up on that wardrobe. If not, some comics. Comics would be better.
Yeah.
I'll attempt to make an effort next time.
What about a GoFundMe campaign?
What's on the other side of the room instead of the window?
In the back, it's just the driveway. It's
if you move the camera, what else can the camera see?
Oh yeah, but you got the mirrored doors, so you can see basically just bits and stuff in the room. I need to tidy.
So can you put the camera more straight on so you can get more of the cupboard? Does that work?
You'll get a mirror. Like I said, you get a reflection.
That's get some Inception shit right there.
Yeah.
Hang on, right side.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it'd be better. Maybe not.
Maybe not the mirror. No, you don't want the mirror.
I'll get it back. There we go. I'll sort out a backdrop.
You bloody well.
So
maybe a bit of lighting. I'll put a lamp here so you can actually see me. Although maybe that's not helpful.
The Lords of Death podcast. Yes, this is #1. The trial.
0
to test everything out, or 0 depending on your point of view. So yeah, the first one today we're supposed to be reviewing the Northman. It came out quite a while ago. I think it's been and gone. I don't think you can see it anymore, can you, Carlos? It's not there.
I don't think so. Yeah, it was only on for a short amount of time in the cinema.
Which we saw when it came out, and we had to delay this recording until I was ready.
But importantly, we've not talked about it, so we don't know what anyone thinks.
We don't know what we're going to say. And that's where things get interesting.
Did you like it? Did you not like it?
I mean, I'll be honest. I cheated. I did cheat. I watched it 2 days ago.
You've had a refresh.
I have refreshed my memory on everything about this film, and it's good to see it a second time.
Yeah.
Because then the story and the action isn't a surprise. You can look at other stuff.
You'll get more
Although
critically.
my mistake was I didn't take any notes against my headings, which is something I probably should have done.
Well, it's going to be a less technical review, more of an emotional review. And we all know how emotional you can get, TJ.
This is true. This is true. All right, so let's. I don't know if you saw my list of pointers. I added cinematography after special effects, pretty much smack bang in the middle. Can I copy them down into the?
Oh, it'd be good if it was on screen. Yeah, I was going to say I've
got
got it
into the private
got
chat.
it open.
There it is in the private chat,
fantastic.
but no commas, which is a shame. So some of the stuff is more information-wise, I'll just state.
Hit us with the facts.
So, general introduction or general thoughts. That's what general intro is meant to be. Carlos, I'll let you start. What did you think of the Northman? Succinct. Yeah.
Succinct. Okay, this will be hard for me. A slightly baggy, overly long, but interestingly shot and mythologically charged action revenge thriller, I guess you could call it. So I fairly enjoyed it, actually. I did actually fairly enjoy it, but we'll get to some criticism.
Fairly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
If you're going to give her a number, what would you give it? How many stars?
I hate doing numbers. Yeah, like I said, technically it's incredibly well done. But
if you're going to review it and give it a star rating,
give it a star or a percentage.
Out of how many?
It's always 5 stars, ain't it?
5 out of 5 stars.
If it was an Amazon review, how much would you give?
And overall, can we go for half stars? Can I have half stars?
Yeah, you can have half stars.
I will give it a 3.5.
Oof. Interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. With that
very good.
Much, I would give it a 3.5 as well. That is my star rating. Slanky?
What? Okay.
Yeah, what were your thoughts? I want to know.
I'll do my take on the movie. Right. You're welcome. Right. Okay. So ultimately, there's nothing new about the storyline. It's a kid's dad gets killed, must take revenge sort of play. You've seen it many times before. It is really well crafted in areas. I mean, crafted. It's beautifully done. Where it fails is, I'm pretty sure the director disappeared up his own arse at some point. He just started to put really quirky things that ended up taking away from the storyline, the whole point of the story. It ended up being really quite random at points. What I really liked about the movie, though, as a foil to all that, is it isn't a Hollywood pile of garbage that you normally get. It's
definitely something different.
It's definitely led by an alpha male who gets his shirt off quite a bit. There's no nod to diversity, no or fake plays here and there. It is just what it is, like it or lump it. And I think that in itself gives it a bit of it feels a little bit refreshing in a kind of an obtuse sort of way. It's clearly not a Hollywood movie. And for that, I'll give it credit.
What's the rating?
But having said that, it absolutely tanked. No one watched it.
That's because it's not a Hollywood movie.
Not a Hollywood movie. No, it will not appeal to a vast majority of the audience because it's actually a little bit difficult.
Yeah, I think it's a chicken and egg as well, where when they don't do well or not expect to do well, they're only on for like 2 weeks. If you miss it, you've missed it. And if it goes up against anything big that people want to see, they're going to go to that. Everyone goes, oh, no one's going to it. And then it just disappears.
Yeah. Okay, so jumping around a little bit then, the budget was between $70 to $90 million. and apparently the box office was just shy of 70 million.
Is that worldwide or US?
Yes. Yeah, that's worldwide, I think.
Yeah, no, that's not great. They would have wanted at least 200.
Essentially, no, with its marketing, I'm guessing that means it didn't make its money back. So it was seen as a commercial failure.
You didn't give us your summary.
My summary, yes, I guess I jumped. I thought I gave the star rating. I think it is 3.5. In my head, that's 7 out of 10. I think it was a good film. I agree that it was a little bit arty in some places, but at the same time, I did think some of the shots were quite good. So the cinematography was pretty good. The story, like you said, was very basic, but I didn't mind that. It was quite simple, and it worked. It was a little bit padded out, but in general, I'd recommend it to anybody. I would say, yeah, you should. Maybe you don't want to pay full whack in the cinema, which you can't do now anyway, but I would recommend people watch it. And after watching it again the other day, I still enjoyed it. I thought it was a good film, good story.
I think casual viewers wouldn't appreciate it, but I think real fans would get.
I don't know. You say that, but it's a bloke's film. I would say it's a film that normal guys will enjoy. Yeah,
you can't say that nowadays.
Yeah, well,
you're stereotypical view of.
When I say a normal bloke,
alleged bloke,
a normal red-blooded man would definitely go for it.
Well, he's not normal. He does kill quite a few people. That's not normal.
No, that a normal person would enjoy this film is what I'm trying to say.
A normal person? Oh, he's not a normal person.
I'm not saying he's a normal person.
Let's be clear. He has some issues.
I mean, yeah.
All right, yeah. Well, next on the list, next on the points, I guess, are the main actors. So I've got Alexander Skarsgård starring, Nicole Kidman as his mother, Claes Bang. I'm guessing that is the bad guy. Yeah.
If it was, I thought it was pretty good, actually.
My favorite, Anya Taylor-Joy, stunner, and then. The next one, I guess, Ethan Hawke as his father, Willem Dafoe as the batshit crazy witch voodoo doctor, and Bjork as the witch.
Let's be clear, Willem Dafoe does a batshit crazy man very well.
Yeah. Shall I just jump in? I know we've already got started, but should we say there will be spoilers? We're going to be talking about stuff, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That's a good. Okay. Just checking.
Spoiler alert.
Don't trust us at all. Yeah.
So yeah,
if you don't need spoilers for the film. Well, no one's watching, but
well, I'm just saying that's the case. We'll be talking about stuff in key moments. So, right. So, anyone did anything stand out for you? Because I thought overall they were pretty solid. All the performances were pretty solid.
They're all solid except for one. There's only one which is out of place, and that's Nicole Kidman, because she's plastic fantastic. She looks like she's mashed up. She kind of almost pulls it off as a younger version, but you don't see much of her in there where they CGI'd her face over, I'm guessing. But definitely when I watched it back in her older state, compared to everybody else, she doesn't look right.
Well, she only really has one scene to properly act, I suppose. There's only that one horrible scene.
No, later on, she's in it quite a bit. And
is she?
She looks out of place. I think.
I was trying to figure out if her face was CGI'd or if that was her face.
I think that's her face, and that's what she's done to herself. It looks.
I wouldn't be surprised though if they did quite a bit of post-productive messing with the colours and tones and smoothing things out and stuff, because it did look very. I don't know what the word's called. Very, well, like you said, you're saying about artsy, but like the, say, production design, color use, darks and lights. It seems like they did a lot of effort to make things look a little bit.
Yeah, the whole film was grey.
Yeah, almost. Yeah. The grey tones to fit with the tone of the story of what was happening to the characters, the world that we're living in.
I just mean just the way she looks. She doesn't look like a normal person.
I'm wondering if
doesn't look like a person from Viking era.
No. See, things that bother me about these like era movies where people are supposed to be of that time, yet they have perfect teeth. Like, where does that come from?
But they're also very clean and their hair's brushed.
Great hair, there's like great contact lenses. And
I did notice that Skarsgård, in one scene, he shows his teeth and they're absolutely pucker.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And Anya Taylor-Joy, who's a slave as well, she's pucker.
Yeah, they didn't put much effort into making things.
I
don't think people like to see it looking quite that real. And like sometimes we do say this though about like the sci-fis that we like, that you like worn outfits that look like someone's actually lived in the place, the rooms like it. I didn't actually pay attention to whether the outfits and clothes and everything seemed particularly
everything else, the quality of the production I thought was very good.
Seemed worn and
used. When you watch everything, they clearly spunked a lot of money on getting everything looking right. They must have spent a load of money building the sets and all the weaponry and all that good stuff. It looked fantastic.
Kits.
Yeah. But
I think in her defense, I don't think Nicole Kidman gave a bad performance. She was thoroughly outclassed by everyone else.
Yeah, I do think that they were very, very solid. I mean, again, Ethan Hawke had weird scenes to do, very odd scenes to do that he got to act, but I thought it was fine in them. He nailed it.
Ethan Hawke was great. Yeah. But Alexander Skarsgård, he was great.
I think considering
committed to the role.
Yes, I was just going to say very committed. Whatever the hell the workout, we were talking about this before. Like the workout regime must be ridiculous to have been able to.
He's on Hollywood special juice, I think.
And I think something that's shown obviously in
the is taking Chris Hemsworth's special medicine, whatever that is.
Workouts. But in terms of showing the damage that he had, showing the moments that were key that formed him into what he was, and then the moment obviously with his mother that then absolutely shatters him again, I thought he was actually very, very good in those scenes where you're kind of showing him dealing with these incredibly emotionally damaging moments happening in his life, which one of the things I'd give it to him which suited the performances, I thought, is you have this, they'd say in like books, they call it like grimdark, where the world is just, everything is dark, everything's kind of depressing, there's not much hope, it's all very, like the colors, the tone, the music, and the acting and performances, I thought all fit really well into that sort of pocket of tonal sort of film.
Don't dictate to me what grimdark is. I'm a Warhammer.
Oh, right, I know that you know that. This isn't for you.
So it's for the people watching, the masses. The masses are watching us. If you want to see grimdark, Warhammer 40k, you're welcome.
Yeah. I should have known. Right. Who had episode 0 for him to mention?
Every episode, I'm getting it in. Every episode. Deal with it.
Actually, we should have that as like an Easter egg that you'll try and squeeze it in somewhere.
Oh, grimdark. Warhammer. Like Warhammer.
This is basically a truth one. It's fair though. I think it really was, and the whole thing suits it. Like whatever you think of, like the pace is a bit. I think some people would find it quite slow and dull in places because it's trying to build atmosphere and tone. And I think, like I said, the performances kind of bring that to the fore and it lets it breathe. So I've gone slightly off topic, but I thought
Skarsgård you went off on one there. Thank you.
No, that's fine. All right. So after
at least 2 viewers there. Out about 0.
After the actors, I guess the next person to talk about is the director, and that's Robert Eggers. And Carlos will be very fond of this director. I've only saw one of his previous films. He did The Witch, and he also did The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
A lot of people say it's good.
It's very well regarded as very good performances.
Okay,
the actors.
No. Just no. Carlos, have you seen it?
I still haven't. After you told me, after I recommended it to you, and then you watched it and said, "What the hell?" I haven't yet. It's still recorded. It's sat recorded, and I haven't.
All right. Any of our viewers, if you watch it and you like it, that's all very well. But you're a dirty fucking bastard.
So The Lighthouse.
Shit.
The Lighthouse had a budget of 11 million, and it had a box office of 18. So.
Very small.
Significant bump.
I bet it was a really small release as well. It was one of those ones that is more wordy.
I've heard good things. Everybody talks about it.
That's what I heard of it. I'd heard very, very good things.
Well, you
about
love it because it's in black and white. It's got masturbating in it. Yes, you'd love
Speaking
it.
of which, I was going to say, did this guy actually know much about colours? Thinking about naming those films that he's got. I mean, the Witch, as I like to call it, or the Witch.
Right.
He that is incredibly just. They've all colour stripped out, pretty much, apart
it's
from
almost
the
black and white. Yeah.
It clearly is something he goes for, as well as obviously the people he loves to cast, even though he's not, I'm assuming, responsible for it. But he must love trying to get these performances from.
That's true. That bloke was in it as well. The dad, the puritanical father, whatever it is.
And
he was in Northman. I don't know if he's
we
in.
have Willem Dafoe, of course. Yeah.
Yes.
Being crazy again.
Yes.
He's got the crazy eyes.
Bad man. Very bad man in my house.
And he's a Yank. He's American. I always thought that it'd be some crazy European dude pulling off these sort of movies.
I do think
The Witch, The Lighthouse, The Northman. So.
Oh yeah, he's obviously got a thing about the.
That'll be his finale. The. That's it. Perfect.
Who knows what it'll be about? But it'll be in black. It'll be very toned down colours. So it'll be very artsy. But
yeah, so his first two movies were low budget, low return. This one was like an order bigger, but didn't perform that much.
Much bigger cast, I suppose. I don't know. I suppose there's only a couple of places it takes place, but he definitely has a particular tone and feel and things that he likes to go for. But he's very good at it, I have to say. I really like The Witch. I think it's
we always gave him the credit for the feel of the movie and the look and just the aesthetics were just amazing. But
I can't see if he's got anything else coming out.
Up his own arse.
Oh, Wikipedia says he plans to make Nosferatu his fourth film.
Fucking hell.
Which, you know what that's going to be called, Carlos?
The Nosferatu. The vampire. The vampire.
The Nosferatu. What an idiot. The vampire, yes.
Is it actually being called that?
No, that's what I'm guessing. It's
okay,
all it
is
Eggers plans to make Nosferatu his fourth film.
But it'll be back to basics. None of this, I want to drink your blood. None of that stuff. It'll be probably going back to the original.
It'll be dark. It'll be
the original documents or whatever.
Yeah.
Anna Taylor will be the bride of Dracula.
Ooh, she'll be a victim.
Do you find her attractive? TJ, you find her attractive, do you?
Yeah, she's hot.
Do you find Gollum attractive?
That's very insulting. Don't say that.
Well, she's got big. He's got big eyes, and they're wide apart like that.
That doesn't mean that they're the same.
I'm assuming that's what you find attractive.
No.
What about the little creature out of Ice Age? That little dude. He's got big eyes wide apart.
Scrat. Scrat from Ice Age.
That's not what it's called.
It's not the same thing. She has this weird. It is almost alien-like look.
Alien-like.
It's hard to describe. She looked like she could have been made in a lab. That is true.
Would you find her attractive if she was blue?
That's a multiplier.
You're just thinking about this because of Avatar.
No, I'm thinking of Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. I found your picture the other day, by the way. I need to put it up in here somewhere.
Oh, it should be Pride of Place right behind your camera.
I've got a spot for it. Right there under the Big Trouble poster. I was thinking I might put it there.
Boom.
Need to put mine up as well.
Yours up.
Yeah, get it on the backdrop.
If you want to send me works of art in the post, I'll happily put them up somewhere.
Just finish my paintings.
So you don't want to have something that I've done. I've drawn for you.
God damn you.
Pride of Place next to my kids when they were.
Yeah, the children's drawings. Except you won't be able to tell the difference. Who did that? Is that the one he did?
Yes, that's okay.
All right, Carlos. Do you want to just go through the main plot points of what happens during the film? Just talk you through.
Oh, okay. I think you might be able to have to jump in and help me a little bit with this because obviously you did at least a little bit of a refresher on this. But from memory, we have our setup initially, kind of setting up our protagonist in the castle as his father is returning. So we get the feel, I guess, of an absent father, someone who he looks forward to coming back.
So yes, his father comes back from battle. His brother sulks off in the background.
That's correct. They have a very awkward and unusual sort of meeting, and you're not quite sure, but you think, oh, okay, it seems like they're okay, but you can tell from the undertones of everyone else that something's brewing.
And for some reason, you could tell the brother was going to be the bad guy just from his appearance.
They had the classic all in black.
All in black hair.
There were murmurs about him as well. Everyone's like in the background, oh, what if? And then he shows up saying some kind of negativity.
Didn't he have some sort of nickname as well?
Yes, I think he did.
Some sort of nickname like the traitorous blood man or something. It's something quite obvious.
Something that
I guess it's a bad guy.
I think he was a bastard brother, I think.
Oh, was that what it was? Just that
yeah,
they said
he was a bastard brother.
Something blood. Yes. Something blood.
Yeah,
brother blood.
If someone's called the bastard.
Wow. If we've anything from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game of Thrones right there.
You can go either way. We have 2 Snows, one good, one bad. Yep, so we have this kind of introduction of his father returning, and we then jump forward to the moment where they decide to have a coming of age ceremony to kind of
well, you jumped a bit, then you missed the point. His father reveals that he's been mortally wounded.
Okay. I should
his
probably
wife. So
that.
then
only to his wife. Yeah.
They fast track some
this
sort
coming of age
ritual thing.
Ritualistic, yes. So you're right. I should have highlighted. Yes, he was more. Well, at least they said he's not going to have long for it, even though she was hoping. So
I thought that little sequence was fucking cool.
The coming of age bit or the reveal of his
the coming of age bit.
It's very weirdly done. Very well done. Where they go into this, the like weird like tunnel that they crawl through.
Underground hole.
Yeah. And they're howling like wolves. They're like
Willem Dafoe acting like a mad witch doctor.
Absolutely, he was fantastic in that.
If we do have any viewers from that part of the world, could they enlighten us as to if that's normal?
Is this a normal coming of age thing?
Is that normal?
Anybody in the chat? Anybody in the chat want to
comment?
We're unaware.
Just now, look, there'll be one person. They'll be from some village up North Europe somewhere, and get really pissed off with us.
Or they might say, actually, yes, I have actually I did that. It wasn't wolves.
Historically, were they Norwegians? Is that where they're from?
Vikings. Yes, this was. I thought that they were meant to be, because it actually reminded me of, I don't know if
they went to Sweden, so that's where the ending of the film was set.
I thought it was in Iceland.
Yeah,
so because this reminded me of Vinland Saga. I don't know if you guys have watched Vinland Saga, but it's the same story where they said
went to an island off.
There's a guy who basically tried to rule Norway and became like king of Norway, called himself king of Norway, and basically ousted anyone who didn't want to follow him. All those tribes, maybe not tribes.
Oh yeah, you're right. They did
left for Iceland, which is the same storyline basically as Vinland Saga. So it really reminded me of that, which I've only recently started watching it.
Apparently, it's based on something.
That's why I'm wondering if like that is also, because there's a revenge story in that too, which is why this kind of made me think. I wonder if it's like another interpretation of it.
Named after the dude Amleth. So I'm not going to read all this now, but yeah, you're right. They go to Iceland.
So I think it was from Norway, and it's when this guy basically became ruler and said, anyone who doesn't like me being ruler, off you pop to Iceland.
All B-jams. You didn't get that reference, do you? I thought it was hilarious. Fuck you. You're not old enough to understand how funny that come. Oh, Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Wasted.
I'm sorry.
Wasted.
Hang on. Have you got like a button to add like some laughter for moments?
You know that I'm gonna get a little a sound effect bar. Yeah.
Or like, can you also get like a tumbleweed
viewers? Our international viewers won't understand that either. So anyone over 40, 45 maybe? Well, how old are you anyway?
Nowhere near that. I'm younger than Carlis.
Under 40. But we could get also another button that kind of goes for when it's
damn Iceland. Oh, so good.
Anywho, so
I'm trying to break up you droning on about.
I appreciate it actually. So we have this coming of age, which is very well done. I think it's literally as they come out of this moment, this brilliant moment where he feels he's bonded with his father. He's, finally going to be, become a man or whatever it is and take over. And he has this wonderful moment. And is that the one where he's basically catching? We saw in the video. Is that when he's catching snow with his tongue or something?
Yeah, it's about then.
And the second that happens, that we have this moment of childish joy, his father's murdered, pretty much in front of him.
With an arrow.
Proper Boromired it.
Well, that's not how he's. That's how he was made. Well, incapacitated, but he was murdered by beheading. He went proper Ned Stark.
Yep. So they proper finished off,
and by none other than his traitorous younger bastard brother.
The bloody bastard brother.
Obviously, our young protagonist starts legging it as fast as he can. One of the henchmen find him, and he thinks, "I'll have your nose," and chews his nose off.
Pull your nose off. Got your nose. It was very cute. Got your nose.
Just a little nod and a wink. Cheeky little chappy bites the guy's nose off, legs it, gets into a boat, as you do. Everyone gets in a boat, and
he has to escape, doesn't he? He has to leave, otherwise he's going to get.
Oh, of course, yeah. He knows then that they're going to kill.
They're after him.
He's the bloodline. He's the natural person to take over, so he has to run away. So in the boat he gets, and he sets up his mantra for the rest of the film.
Yeah,
which we hear many times.
Yeah,
that he's going
basically it. That's it.
Kill the guy, save his mum.
Yeah.
Well, actually, this is where things are interesting. From the trailer, which we just saw, I didn't think that this is what the film would be about. If that makes sense. From the trailer, I remember thinking this is going to be some big epic war type battle film.
So rather than a personal revenge story,
not a personal revenge story.
Yeah, like a Norse.
This guy's going to be leading like a fucking army, and they're going to go, because in the trailer I remember that they show a lot of the fight where they storm that little village and capture all the whispers.
An incredible scene, that one, when he has the one shot, which I'm assuming is a continuous shot.
Yeah, it probably is. Which is the next scene of the film.
They were not going to put in the trailer what the movie was about, because it would be a really boring trailer. It wouldn't entice people to watch a movie. You always put the big bangs and the big explosions and the battles into the trailer.
But I think the movie might have been better if that's what it was. I would like to have seen a movie about Vikings going nuts, destroying.
Well, I was going to say, jumping up to interestingly where you thought we then time jump forward, and of course that's what he's doing. He is in a gang trying to take over. Yeah, trying to take over, having a laugh, singing around, wolfing out around a fire when they win. And there's some incredible battle scenes of him attacking a village, and you see how brutal this world is, and this kind of
puts all the men of fighting age and young boys into a barn and burned them.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal.
You know what happened to all the women as well. Yeah.
So yeah, difficult to watch. I felt like they still wanted to kind of tone down so that you're rooting for him, because I think they didn't necessarily show him doing, apart from obviously being this brutal murderer, they were trying to avoid doing anything. Yeah, almost like, well, this is what he's now working towards to. I don't know whether we're still thinking he's going to achieve his goal at this stage, or whether he's now just meandering until he gets that moment where he hears about where his uncle has moved to, and that's when that kind of kickstarts his.
Yeah, I think it's just going along with the flow until he gets the opportunity,
putting all this pain and anger into basically this fighting.
Yeah. And he learns off that dude what happened to his uncle. But what really kicks it off is none other than your favorite 90s pop singer
telling him what his
appears before him as a witch of the night. Well, you crackled up like hell then.
I was going to say it was really good timing. We seem to have lost.
You're frozen now as well.
The signal has gone. But it was incredibly good timing for a Bjork song. It sounded more realistic.
It actually sounded just like Bjork. I was like, that's fucking good.
Thank you.
Damn.
So, and that kind of makes him think, yes, this is my.
Well, she sets forward
destiny.
The premonition of what's going to happen, where he needs to go, what he needs to do,
and that really
to fulfill his destiny.
He focuses on that.
He doesn't mess around with. He goes for it straight away. Literally.
On that topic, I would like to bring up. I mentioned about mythology. Something I thought they did really well was make a world seem like the mythology was real, and like some of these sort of fantasy elements were real, but they weren't. You get elements of it. That's the closest
You mean
bit.
they weren't? There was a witch that disappeared in front of his face.
That's the only bit that was actually.
And the fact that everything
fantastical.
she said, she prophesized came true.
Well, this is where you come back to. This is my point of like whether, people believe, this was their like, beliefs and so on and so forth. But even like him later on bringing the fear of like when he was doing things, but it's just a man doing it, but they believed it was, something else, something mythological, and that was the one piece I thought that didn't. But is it that her telling him this is what led him to then do it? Do you see what I mean? It's like self-fulfilling prophecy, so to speak. It's all
I'm
good that
pretty sure she
prophesied.
says quite a few stuff, which he basically follows, including where they're going to fight.
Well, yeah, but he tells his uncle to go there, doesn't he?
Fire, lake of fire, the gates of hell, something like that.
Yeah, which is why like he has this confidence, because he knows that he's going to survive to get there, and there's these other bits and bobs. But again, it doesn't mean anything fantastical happened to lead him there, because again, he challenged his
something
uncle
to do with the sword as well,
to get there.
That she told him about.
I know that they were saying about the sword not being able to be. This is what I'm saying. There's little elements like the sword could. I love that the sword couldn't be unsheathed. Was it in sunlight? And there was a brilliant moment where someone tried to.
He tried to take it out first of all.
Yeah, it's stuck in the sheath.
Right in the morning. He get a very first opportunity to kill the guy, but right before he pulled it out, a cockerel went, and then the sword wouldn't come out. He's like, shit, and he legged it.
I thought those, and that's what I mean by it did to me. It still made it seem like it's not exactly a fantasy film, but there's elements. The same goes for that scene where he's getting the sword. What was going on? Do you remember when he drops in the pit? I know we're jumping a little bit ahead story-wise into the pit. Is that taking place in his head, or was that actually taking place where he had to fight and challenge that skeleton? Was it basically
giant ogre skeleton?
Yeah,
giant.
But then when we see him, the skeleton still sat, and none of that.
Yeah, that's the only like question.
Do you see what I mean? Or like seeing the Valkyrie at the end. It's
remember when he got there, he went to go see what's his face. What's that other?
Yeah. Well, it was going to be Will
Skarsgård,
it ended up being the guy from Fortitude, right?
I can't remember his name. He's Skarsgård.
He's in. Isn't he the guy from? Oh, is it? I thought it was the gent from Game of Thrones who's got the flaming sword.
No, it's the guy from Thor. What's his name?
Oh yeah, I might have muddled.
Stellan Skarsgård.
Is it Stellan?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's him.
Yeah, it is. It was. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah. With Willem Dafoe's skull. It was.
Yeah. I was going to say, come and chat to the skull.
Let's go in IMDb.
Thank you. I was going to say I probably need this.
IMDb, where are you? Disappointed.
So while you're looking this up, of course, we'd stopped at the point where he decides he has to follow this path. He actually basically jumps onto this ship with a bunch of people who are being taken over to kind of, I suppose, work for them, work the land, do whatever they want, and commits to basically a completely different life to try and get to the goal that he knows is his destiny. And that's how he finds them, gets to stay.
I can't see on Google. Might not be him.
I honestly thought it was the other guy I mentioned.
But did you know Hathor was in it?
Yeah.
Yes, he's the one. Yeah, we're going to get to that in a bit when he showed his. Where are we? So obviously he's now working for them and obviously trying to gain their trust. And of course they have this crazy, basically five-a-side game where you go and bash the shit out of each other with those big like club things while you're trying to.
I didn't realize it was him.
You didn't realize it because that's who was left over at the end. The two who are left who aren't knocked out or taken off the field is basically Hathor, Bjornsson, and the Stellan Skarsgård. They basically have to go head to head, and these guys have this battle. And of course, when the brother comes running out, thinking he can score a goal, and obviously the guy has no idea who he is and attacks him. It does make you wonder: is he doing that to gain their trust, or was that an actual "I want to protect my brother" here? where he absolutely smashes the guy's head.
He killed him, right?
That is brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, he must have.
Yeah,
The
he
way
must
we see it, like we're talking about brutal. I mean, this is brutal. If you think about the most, I don't know whether the way things are shot, like the most brutal films or scenes I've seen, this is probably up there with like The Raid and, you know, that scene in what's that one with Gosling in the when he's in the lift.
Baby Driver, not Baby Driver. The other one.
The Drive, is
Drive.
it The Drive? Drive, it's Drive.
Drive,
Yeah,
yeah.
blimey.
I don't think the film was that brutal.
You know, the one scene is that one scene
No,
is
it's not that
absolutely.
bad. You don't see anything.
Okay,
don't
maybe
see
after watching that, maybe if I go back after watching this, I'll be like, no,
It's off scene. You see it from the dude on the floor.
Felt, maybe it's the contrast, but this one seemed, whether it's just the way it's shot or what we see, I thought incredibly dark and brutal.
The one person we didn't talk about was the older brother, Thorir. What do you make of him? The Weasley guy. He thought he was badass.
Oh, hang on, the one who
glad.
just they gave a sort of quiet death to. He just finished him off when he was up to that guy.
When he was in bed, yeah.
Yeah. So it was
Yeah.
that horrible scene with his mother. He comes out and goes, "Oh well, I'll kill you. I'll kill you. I may as well on my way out. I'm heading out. Take something away after hearing these horrible things." But, yeah, I didn't think much of him. I suppose I think he didn't have many scenes. He, like you say, we feel probably what we were meant to feel about him. That he seems like he was a bit, you know, it's not someone who you felt deserved to have the leadership at some point. He came across.
He was just an element of the story. He wasn't really a character.
They didn't really flesh him out. They just kind of had him there.
Yeah, but he had that role of being the annoying, stuck-up, power mad.
But he's a pawn
in
this story of who he wants to take out to hurt him before having this.
I thought he's played quite well. The
showdown.
did a good job.
That's what I mean. We feel probably what we were meant to feel about.
Yeah,
him.
I didn't like him at all, so he was quite good.
Yeah.
So then, I guess fast forward quite a bit. He ends up killing loads of people, and slowly draws himself out. And he, in the end, the big surprise was when he tried to rescue his mum, and she revealed that she was partially behind it all along. And so then that throws him off quite a bit, because he reveals who he is, and then therefore he has to run away. The stupid mistake that he made was not taking his girlfriend with him, because then I guess they had to have a mechanism to get him to come out and show himself.
They knew that they had between, and we of course forgot to mention that he's developed this kind of bond with her after traveling.
Bond. Come on, developed a bond. Jesus Christ.
In the same way that TJ's developed a bond with her as well.
Exactly.
just watching her acting career.
Oh yeah.
She's a fantastic actress. Always love the performances.
Yeah. So then, he had to leave her there so that the bad guy, the bastard brother, could use her to draw him out. She escaped.
I think he gives himself up for her, and then wasn't that when? Because then they have like strung up, and they were remember
they haven't strung up, but then the crows.
The crows. Always nice when it's crows. Nice little bit of, because that's meant to be, what was it, signifying death, but that being the thing that frees
the crow. His father was the Crow King.
That was his nickname, wasn't it? The Crow Lord.
When he saw a crow early on, he was like, "Father, is that you?"
So it's the idea of
that crow is throughout the story, isn't it? All the way until the end.
So we knew, obviously, all these hints are saying we kind of know how this story is going to end. It's been telegraphed a little bit. But yeah, so he manages to escape these bonds through this means. As I say, it kind of is still fantastical, but not completely overtly fantastical, that these birds have been able to free him of his ropes. Manages to get away, and he has a decision to make when he's on the ship, isn't he? Where he has a kind of sliding doors moment, where he has to decide: do I now run away and have a life with her, or do
but then doesn't he then go and slaughter everybody else, including his mom, and his half brother.
Could say yes.
think it's
This would be
after
when
that.
he has. I'm trying to remember. This will be after. Yes, when he's freed. Is that right?
And-
Or does he run off and then come back and kill? I can't remember now from the watch. But however it ends up, that's the next step. You're right. He goes back and says, "Right, I'm taking this away from you." This.
Yeah, you're right. At one point, he has the opportunity to escape with his woman, and who is
That
revealed
might
to be
be now.
pregnant. But
That's
then
it.
he changes his mind and decides he has to go back and finish the job.
And you're not quite sure whether it's. That's why I'm trying to remember whether he'd already killed them. I mean, it almost did it in a way that was almost accidental with the son, but it was almost like maybe he felt like his kid wouldn't ever be safe if he didn't do it. I'm not quite sure whether that's how he felt at the time.
Yeah.
He ended up heading back and saying, I choose not to stay and go and live another life, but to go and meet my destiny and face him man to man. He's now got nothing to lose. And we have our massive naked showdown.
He gets quite wounded as well, so his mom slashes him one.
Yeah, that's the thing.
His stepbrother stabs the shit out of his back before he gets murked.
Yep. So he's
And
already
then,
wounded.
And then they agree to fight at the base of the volcano.
I just want to show you something. See this? See what I bought?
Who had the higher ground?
See this? Do you see what this is? So
not meant to be
real,
promoting violence.
Real actual gun. And I'm just going to warn you, if this podcast gets boring, I'm going to shoot myself in the head.
Okay.
Make it as boring. You can't say that sort of stuff on YouTube. You can't say you're going to commit suicide live on air. You jackass. What's wrong with you?
It's not the worst thing I've said, let's be honest.
Fuck you, fire.
Well, okay, so the question is, would you watch this podcast?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, okay. I think it needs to be a bit punchier. It needs to be a bit punchier rather than just recounting.
We're easing our way in.
Well, okay, I did say to tell the plot of the film as quickly
Apologies.
as possible.
I did.
We are literally just talking through everything.
We should have jumped through. All right. Well, we've got to the finale. We've had the big showdown. I was going to say we could probably jump on to next topics then.
What's the typical length of a podcast? Of interest.
They go for hours.
Hours.
They can go for hours if you got a lot to say.
Yeah, I was going to say typically a minimum an hour.
Because we like the movie, it's relatively quick and easy. But if you don't like the movie, then
you end up going into sort of some rants and bits and bobs.
Yeah, you can rant about all sorts of stuff.
I don't mind a rant. You know me. Look, I love a good rant. Right?
I honestly thought you'd have more of a rant about how long this thing was, because if you took this film and shook it, I think 20 minutes would fall out of it easy, and you wouldn't feel like you'd lost a lot of the plot. I felt there was a lot of meandering, like him having the bath. Do you remember there's the bit where they get in the bath in the hot tub? Let's just chill for a bit. And I was like, I know that it fit the tone of the film. It fits.
Yeah.
If you suddenly jump and edit and move, it would feel a bit weird because everything else is quite gradual and allows it to breathe. But I think they probably could have made it.
They could have, but then
you like this podcast.
Like letting it breathe. So I think a lot of movies they don't give them time to. Is it you always call it time to breathe?
Yeah, I like that.
Take it all in and then that sort of thing. To be honest, I didn't have too much of a problem with the pacing as such.
I thought you would. When you came out, I was thinking he was going to be.
Yeah, no, but I've had time to reflect on it. Either that, I've forgotten it.
Yeah, you forget how long it felt.
Yeah.
I do feel like I
don't think it felt that long. I don't think it dragged. When I watched it again,
it definitely didn't drag. It definitely didn't drag.
No.
I don't think so. But as I say, almost like if you're talking about being concise,
it wasn't boring, mindless conversation which had no point.
That's
Everything
it. All
was
of it. Yes. Yeah. I would say you're right. Every scene had a reason.
Kept it progressing further.
Mm-hmm.
Or they could have just cut out half of the arty shots and shortened some of those sweeping things and cut some of the like you said, the bath scene or whatever, and they could have got rid of bits and pieces.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. With the plot, it does jump as it should. We don't have superfluous scenes and things.
It was good. The final fight, I thought.
I did think they did it very
Two
well.
naked dudes on the side of a volcano.
Did you tell me the time they CGI'd something in that scene or something? Did you mention that?
Knackers, wasn't it? Was it Knackers in or Knackers out? I'm not sure.
It's something like that, either in or out, but they definitely CGI something. Yeah. So they probably weren't really naked in the actual filming of it. They
just a question for you: does this classify as a dick flick?
I said that before we went in.
It is a dick flick, then.
It did it.
Technically it is, yeah.
Okay, so it does. Right.
Okay, so just saying, this counts against you, TJ.
Do you want to explain to the listeners what a dick flick is?
Yes, it's any movie where an element of male genitalia is exhibited.
Unexpectedly, yeah.
And
no, just at all. Even if it's like said, this is going to happen, it still counts.
But for our one viewer in Northern Europe, TJ looks very closely. He looks really closely. It could be an element of a ball sack, even the slight, maybe even the half,
a little bit of foreskin.
And so you really look really closely. However,
frame by frame, yeah.
Who invented the dick flick? Who invented it?
I had the first one.
It was
you invented it, but who perfected
I invented the name.
Who perfected it?
It has not yet been outdone by, what was the name of the movie? Mandy.
Let's
Mandy was the movie.
One of my picks to watch
Nick
Mandy.
Cage.
Warning to anyone wanting to watch the film: there is a very long, explicit scene.
It's not explicit. It's just
wow. Very yeah.
It's a lot of dick. What can you see?
Yeah, didn't have to hold that camera that long.
I've never seen someone actually melt in their clothes. That's what happened to you. The scene went on, and you're just going to start to melt into your clothes like this.
Yeah, that's partially your fault for laughing like an absolute maniac.
It was meant to be a serious scene. If anyone's seen the film, by the way, it's incredibly serious.
I was laughing like a chimpanzee. On
key
fucking
to
Red
what
Bull.
happens later in the film, which is rather
brilliant.
You guys taking the mickey out of me thinking, oh god.
Mandy's definitely a film of two halves.
Just to highlight, it's only because we gave him a hard time for picking a film that had that. And now we've all done it.
I don't remember mine.
There was one.
No, I think you can't remember it.
There's definitely there's a shower scene with.
Felt like it was rollerball.
No, there wasn't. It wasn't. You were looking too closely, TJ. I'm worried about you. You look very closely at genitalia on the screen, trying to find a fraction of 1% of a ball sack, and you're like, "Oh, dick flick." I've not had one. You're welcome. That's it. Just telling you as it is.
That's just a coincidence, then. Yeah. Not because you actually did anything to make sure that you didn't pick one. Even so that I've had dick flicks, you generally pick terrible movies, so I'm relatively happy with that.
No. Old Captain, I'll pick something from Marvel or something safe.
Oh yeah, because Oceans is the worst. Safe. I tend to go, oh, this sounds like it'd be good. And again, a bit of background. Obviously, we used to sort of meet up to do films. We take turns.
Do you want to describe what we used to do, Carlos?
Oh, the legend of the...
I don't know. With the length it took me to describe that film,
the movie night.
Movie night. Describe movie night.
Yeah, it's just we all met up, headed around yours, did a bit of a
I'll describe
sci-fi quiz.
Every 2 weeks, one of us would pick a movie, and it was supposed to be something that none of us had
Preferably that none of us had seen.
Yeah, which me and you, Carlos, I think we upheld that.
I was going to say, I was pretty good. It's just
we should give ourselves high fives for for picking unique films. Sanjay picked films that he'd already seen.
Well, he has seen every film.
No. Let's be clear. Because I've been alive longer than you, I've watched more movies than you have.
No, but that doesn't matter. You always pick stuff that you've already seen.
No, I didn't always do that.
Yes, you did.
I picked gems that I hewn from
gems
solid
that you'd
rock
seen and you were introducing
for your. Shut up, I'm talking. Like for your enlightenment, I'd be hewing them from rock. These beautiful gems like that, and some of them were not. They're not easy to watch sometimes, but you learn, you enlighten yourself, right?
What was the one with?
There you go. Carlis,
Space Worm?
film aficionado.
Oh, yeah, the space.
And TJ, you picked Inseminoid, so screw you.
I mean, yeah, Inseminoid was
Yeah,
bad.
we had a few misses. I had a lot of misses.
Have you still got the register?
I do indeed. I
It's
do have
updated.
that list. I don't think I added any of the ones that we did sort of where you guys headed over to mine and everything. So since I don't think I've added those in, or any of the ones we did online.
You should
by watching.
add the ones that we did online.
I'll try and do that. It's whether I can remember because I missed a couple. If you remember out the middle, we knew that we did the Godzilla, one of the I forget which Godzilla we did, and that somehow was missed off my list. I have no idea why. In the middle of them.
Yeah, it's a good.
I can't remember which one it was.
I ranked mine, and I was, I think, a point higher than Slanky, and then a further point higher than Carlis.
Just to be clear, I quite enjoyed the ones I picked. It's just they weren't
on,
necessarily.
like they
weren't
proud.
I ranked all of the movies, every single one. I can pull it up. I've got it here if you want.
I was going to say we could probably have the list.
Do you want to see it?
We believe you. You ranked your
People
own
can judge
movies
themselves.
higher than other people's.
Just to note, obviously, when I pick these, it's that I'm trying to pick something I think these guys will like and that fits. Usually, we target sci-fi, so didn't always.
I've got it. I'm opening it.
Yeah.
Didn't always work.
I updated this. This was last updated in October 2020.
Curated movies. That's me right here. I'm the curator. I'm not a museum, right? That's what you want.
No,
you want to see what's going on right now on Netflix and go to TJ. Black and white.
A little harsh, a little bit harsh.
Artsy crap. Then it's KK. Oh, and if you want some comments in the chat, feel free to comment. Ask what happens at the end of Total Recall. Just ask Carl.
No, this is
save that one.
Rating
That's a whole podcast right there.
Let's not start.
In fact, we should do
a theory.
A podcast.
It was a theory about my theory.
About Total Recall.
We
could do.
We could touch on that. That could get explosive. When one of our heads ends up like Arnie's.
No, here it is.
The scene where he's on the
Do you want to see the list?
With the tongue hanging out his eyes.
I'm gonna pop it up. We got to say we've gone off the North. We didn't quite. We can jump back to the Northman in a minute.
Can you see the list?
There it is. Although it's a bit fuzzy. For me. Oh yeah, and of course we had our Christmas films.
Selector. I've got how many people had seen it before, and I've got my rating out of 10. And
your rating out of 10. That's strange.
6.8, 6.1, 6.2. Oh, I didn't think it was.
No way! You must have adjusted that. There's no way. I'll tell you why.
Bullshit.
I think you allowed me Rambo and something else. There was like Die Hard or something I picked for like Christmas, so I think it's skewed slightly by a couple of 9s.
You can see that I held the number of fully unique films.
Love my spreadsheet.
22, 11, 5.
Yeah, see, this is
scientific.
I would also want to add. You did add things like Interstellar, which none of us had seen it because it had only just come out to be able to.
You'll see, I was perfectly fair. 10
for the record. I don't know if we should mention this, TJ, but there's a reason why you were able to get the newest films. Is there a reason you were able to get the newest? Is that because you were?
No, I downloaded all the movies.
Legally though. Just for the YouTube.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
Fully 100%.
Let's just be clear. Nobody else bought any movies. I bought.
Whoa! Movies. I did a couple.
In general.
Yeah, maybe about 4.
Hey, look, and if you see right at the bottom of the list, Buckaroo Banzai, I gave myself a 3.
Yeah,
Kung Pao was a 3. Chinatown was a 3.
Can't believe you gave Chinatown.
If
anyone wants to, please, I really hope someone watches this to say that you've given Chinatown a 3. Just to be clear, I liked Chinatown. Both these guys.
Midnight Run 5, Mandy 5, Battle Beyond the Stars 5.
Podcast, you will notice there's a little bit of conflict going on. Please wait 5 minutes.
These are disclosure. These are TJ's scores.
What was coherence? I can't remember.
TJ scored his own movies higher than they should have been. You're welcome.
Disclaimer.
You want to hang on. Let's just select all of mine then. Say if you disagree with any of these. Have a look.
I do love that. Oh yeah, we never did Midsummer. I do just love that we have our Christmas film of Event Horizon. It still makes me laugh.
It's not
You
fun.
wouldn't do Die Hard. You wouldn't do it.
We did it in the end, I think, didn't we?
You're skirting over my question. Have a look at these.
Sorry.
Do you disagree with any of these ratings?
But definitely for okay, you're looking from the top. Look, all right. I think it's probably going to be relatively fair.
10 Cloverfield Lanes is 7.
That was actually pretty good.
Videodrome, Black
I
Clan.
think these are all fair at the minute. Oh yeah, I couldn't remember the name of number 59, 53. I couldn't remember your first ever one.
The Man from Earth. That was your.
Is that what it was?
No,
it wasn't. No, that was just the one that takes place in the room.
In the room, yeah, where everybody's killed.
Yeah.
And he turns out to be Jesus Christ.
He's actually Jesus. Yeah, we just ruined that. Sorry.
Spoiler alert. I hope no one's watching. But yeah, I couldn't remember the name of the dick flick. So after.
Midsommar, apparently we were going to do that. So I
think they're all fair.
Nobody's
I
argued
think
with
they're all
anything
fair.
I've put there.
I honestly do think, because I think you do generally pick pretty. No, I mean I think you pick pretty good.
Carlis, again.
See, I disagree with a few of these because I think a lot of them were better than you guys thought they were.
You disagree with that one, I know that.
Yeah, I like that.
You want that to be higher.
I
But then if you look at what I've given you, good movies.
Yeah.
8.
Yeah, Rocky.
8, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. See, I've given you good. I've ranked you pretty highly on quite a few films. I even gave you Princess Bride as a 6.
Oh no!
He's going to argue with that.
It's one from my childhood. I watched it and loved it then, and
so
apparently
you can only disagree with one of my scores. That's not going to make a difference.
No, I do think Primer was better than that. You gave it a 4. I thought that was a very interesting film. I thought The Host was better.
Time travel one.
And I think Chinatown is absolutely, for me, it was like an 8. I thought it was fantastic. It's really well made film, wonderfully well done. And you guys are like, oh, that was not. Chinatown.
Was Primer the time travel film?
Yes, it was.
Time travel within time travel within.
It was very poorly put together, so it was not
exactly.
Clear,
it's shit.
But wonderful, interesting concept. I love.
The Host was that South Korean movie with the crazy monster. That was shit. Trance was the one where
Trance was really
what's her face?
Trance wasn't that? I remember it being 20 minutes of really good film, and the rest of it was rubbish.
I can't remember Midnight Run.
That is the one that Andy loves. It's the De Niro and.
No, yeah, that was bang average.
Again, this I think it must have been loved. It was like a kind of
Coherence. What was that one?
I thought Coherence was better than a 5, but it's not hugely much better. That was also that's the sci-fi one, where they have the different coloured lights and things are happening on when some kind of moon alignment. Do you remember? It's got the guy from Buffy in it.
That sounds terrible.
Yes.
I don't want to spoil it if you want to watch it.
Guy Ritchie, was it?
Yeah, but this was when we had to pick our. This was you had to choose a really bad film that was so bad it's good.
Yeah, and he failed there as well. He's a 5.
Oh, I thoroughly enjoy this movie.
Me and Sanjay really like it.
No. Yes, I disagree. Yeah.
So I thought it's better than a 5, but
let's have a look at Sanjay's. See if
so there's a few I disagree with.
Well. Good shit.
Kung Pao, definitely a 3.
No, I'll give you
probably that was one that
Battle Beyond the Stars, definitely 5.
Good movie.
Galaxy of Terror.
Galaxy of Terror.
Hang on, Battle Beyond the Stars, the Casual.
Yeah,
that's right. Come on, yes.
The battle cry of the
Galaxy of Terror, definitely a 5. Time Balance.
Now that is a very important movie. Some real people worked. I think Stan Winston worked on it. James Cameron worked on it. It's a proper movie.
Beastmaster. Again.
Enemy Mine. There's some good sci-fi there, man.
I actually thought Enemy Mine. Yeah, Enemy Mine and Europa Report. I would have given them.
Ghost of Mars.
Ghost of Mars was so bad it's
good bad movie.
Ghost of Mars was so bad it's good.
Yeah.
And then everything else gave me 7s.
Yeah, they're all there for decent scores.
You can't say I've scored you poorly on stuff.
Robinson Crusoe of Mars. That's some proper movies right there. You're welcome. Yeah. You choose.
There's a couple there that I think probably should be 7.
Forbidden Planet was good. Leon, Wonder Woman, Event Horizon. You had 2 Christmas films.
No, you gave Leon a 7 because you downloaded the director's cut.
The director's cut.
What difference does that make? What do you mean?
The director's cut is bad.
Yeah, there's a couple of scenes in it that are a little bit skirting on inappropriate.
Can't remember.
But yeah, there's a couple in there that maybe should be
an 8. You give Total Recall an 8.
Yeah.
Are you on drugs? Say no to drugs, kids. Say no to drugs. But are you on drugs?
Well, okay. I mean, it can't be a perfect. The only other thing it could be is a 9. Yeah, is it a 9 out of 10?
Total Recall.
Yeah, I probably
would give it a 9. Yeah, I mean, if you think about the grand scheme of Arnie films, it's one of his best.
Good grief! The thing is, you're not giving those classic gems at all. They're just, you know what?
Personally, I think
it's a lost cause.
There you go.
Let's have a look at the group rankings. Which ones do we select as a group? Well, just Venom. That's shit.
Yeah, we all agreed to do it for Christmas. There you go, and I've probably got more since
this
then.
Was updated a long time ago.
You look at that. Buckaroo Banzai was quite away. That was disappointing, wasn't it?
I've got
quite a few more.
This list over here. Where did that one go down to?
Buckaroo Banzai.
84.
Oh, no, that can't be right because there's a couple underneath there that we saw. Oh, okay, it went down to there.
No, where's Buckaroo Banzai in this, guys? Can you see it?
No, we definitely had some of the others because look, Enemy Mines.
Oh, it's because I ranked that one.
So I think that's why it's sorted by. Good times. Some of these, I can't believe how long ago it was.
Those were the days.
Yeah, some of these are such a long time ago. And you think, blimey, when we were more polite about the picks we made. The first couple of times.
Batman Returns.
Christmas film.
In Seminoid.
Seminoid, that was one of your parting shots, I think.
That's the one I missed, isn't it?
Yeah, you missed it. Yeah, you got lucky there.
Yeah, it sounded like you said, "Oh, that wasn't."
Well, actually, I was trying to pick a Solanke film, right?
He was.
Yeah, I do remember we had this whole discussion.
Yeah, a Solanke film. And what that means is obviously a curated classic science fiction. That's what
he means. That if you're a fan of a certain type of fruit.
Pomegranate.
Not pomegranate.
Shall we get back to the Northman before we go on to this topic?
What are we doing here again? Yes. So, okay, what do we want to talk about then?
Shall we bang out the last couple of kind of things? We've gone through the main plot point, storyline, etc. So should we talk? I mean, we haven't mentioned music. You wanted to talk about the composition of music. I thought it was perfect. Very well done. Very odd.
It was good, but I don't remember it. It's not memorable.
No, you wouldn't sit down and listen to it, would you? It's atmospheric music to set the tone, but
does the
suited
job,
it perfectly.
But,
yeah, you wouldn't say, "Oh, that was," it's not going to win. I wouldn't think it would win any awards. It just suits the thing.
Same thing with the locations. I mean, yeah, they were great, but you don't want to go back and
Nothing
visit
special.
anywhere.
Yeah,
not really bothered. Same thing with.
I mean, there was the odd scene. So I think the Valkyrie scene was really good for sound.
Yeah.
Ambience was really good, and I think that there's a few reasons why I'd want to go back and watch the movie. I think I'd enjoy watching it a second time.
Yeah, you would. It was good. It's good seeing it again. Yeah, the Valkyrie scene is probably one of the best scenes.
Yes, I mean,
because they tie back in. They tie back in right at the very end with the last scene of the last shot of the movie is the reflection in his eyes.
Yeah,
yeah,
very nicely done. Like I said, bringing mythology into it's very well done in it. And I suppose that's where they're talking about that onto SFX, right? Because I don't know, there must have been a lot of practical effects.
Yeah,
you have a few. I thought they were pretty good. Nothing stood out to me.
I think there was probably more special effects than you thought there were.
It means they've done their job, right?
Good. Yeah. So I think some of the sets, obviously there was a bloody volcano in the background and other bits and pieces. I think there's quite a bit of CGI here and there.
Green screen.
But you just didn't notice it.
Which is good. It's a good sign. So again, well executed. And that's it. I was going to say, then we probably jump onto it. Looks like problems or either things you liked or things you didn't like. I think we've already kind of covered those topics, I suppose.
Were there problems? Like my biggest problem, I think, was Nicole Kidman. Other than that, I didn't mind the simple nature of the film or the violence
Following
or anything like that. Those
someone's story damaged.
Well, I think the
heavy dark world.
The pacing was a bit off. There's a lot of story there, which is great, but there were periods where you thought something should happen, but nothing did. The story kind of carried on. It's kind of bookended, having bookended little episodes within a movie, and I don't think those little episodes were particularly bookended particularly well.
Almost like vignettes, but
didn't
set it up in the right way.
So, but I think that's my biggest gripe. Once you figure out in your head what kind of movie it is, that it is just some incredible drift off into folklore and myth, combined with drug taking and experiences.
And Bjork. You're in the world. You get invested in this story, this world, even though it's not like there's a good protagonist hero who you're backing. You still are invested in this story and what he's going through.
And to be honest, there isn't like a goodie and a baddie as such, because the bad guy is
the bad guy.
He's not actually the bad guy, and the good guy, well, he was go around slaughtering people, so he's not actually the good guy. He's just some berserker out for revenge. So I mean, I like that aspect of it. There was no clear good or bad.
Sort of, to a certain degree, reminds me of those. Is it the Vengeance trilogy? But I don't know if you guys. I'm assuming you must have seen Old Boy.
Oh yes.
Those three films, and that basically is the idea is that you're following someone on a story of vengeance. I guess that is the focus of it, whether you like the protagonist or not.
That's right.
So memorable parts. Again, is there something that specifically stood out to you that you really loved about it? It sounds like you said the Valkyrie scene for you was the one that you thought.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, because it was just
very well
so out there. It really stood out. But the greatest scene has to be the raid on the Slavic.
On
the village.
I was going to say this as well. That's set. The scene where we're following him going through. It's. I mean, again, wonderfully done. Again, I always say things remind me of things. Do you remember is it the intro to what was the DiCaprio one, where he's with the heart? He has to eat the heart.
DiCaprio heart. You're getting mixed up. There's that Game of Thrones and Amelia Clark.
No. We did it as one of our movie night films.
Leonardo DiCaprio film.
Yeah, and he gets he has to he's being hunted by. Is it Tom Hardy or whatever it is?
Oh, you mean there wasn't a heart?
The Revenant.
Revenant.
Yes, the Revenant. It wasn't. Was it like a?
It was a liver or something.
Yeah, he had to eat some. Yeah. Anyway, do you remember that intro scene where you're following them through and there's arrows flying and it's like one? It really reminded me of like that where you're weaving and following and everything's happening around you and it's the choreography for this. Assuming it's, I mean, whether it's done in one shot or not, it's incredibly impressive how it was done, and it really does introduce you to the character of what he is now.
Really good, that was
so
really
well. So I'm not surprised that sort of stood out as a scene for you. Again, I do really love the mythology in the part about the sword. I thought that was something I really loved. The idea of only being able to use it at night, and how he got the sword and. This idea of tricking the thing into the light and all that. Or was it into the moonlight or sunlight? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's the moonlight.
Really liked that. I like something that's some sort of slightly different mythology to what we're used to than the usual kind of, let's say, vampire or this, that, and the other, or silver for werewolves. There's a lot of mythology we're used to seeing over and over and over again. So I liked elements of some of those bits, and I think that part stood out to me that I really liked.
Yeah, I guess the whole film came out watched like an old school fighting fantasy type book, didn't it? He does this, make this decision, turn to this page.
Yes, there's a throwback.
And then it was really good.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Clearly, there's not going to be a sequel.
Yeah, I was looking at that, sequels or spin-offs. I know this is going to be at least. Again, you're saying about something being fresh, right? Standalone film. That's nice. We have a story. It's ended.
Yeah, no sequels. Yeah.
And it closed out nicely. We have a start, middle, end.
Yeah.
So not going to happen. But
is there anything similar to this? Do you reckon?
Well, that's funny. As a film, like I said, Vinland Saga, again, nowhere near the tone of this. It's nowhere near as dark. But Vinland Saga does remind me, because of that setup, that premise, that you've got them living in Iceland and the father being dragged back in, something happening without spoiling it, So there's elements of it that reminded me of that.
I've already got a funny answer to this one. A similar movie, if you want to watch pretty much a similar sort of story and how everything turns out, is Gladiator.
Well,
if you watch Gladiator, it's almost very similar in terms
that's
of
fair. That is fair. That is fair. Absolutely. Certain plot points that it hits.
I saw that in Red Letter Media's film review. They showed a nice little side by side of all the main plot points. Which, I guess it's a classic story.
There are a lot of revenge movies like
that's what I mentioned. Is it Lady Vengeance? A Sympathy for Lady Vengeance, and
you got Death Wish with Charles Bronson. It's a revenge movie, so there's an awful lot there. John Wick, revenge movie.
Doesn't hit the same plot points, slightly differently. Obviously, the execution.
Someone killed his dog. Revenge.
Revenge.
Yeah. Kill Bill. Revenge movie.
Yes. Yeah. And we have a time jump.
Yes, that's right.
Like you say, it's just putting it into a different manner of maybe what we've seen, even though it's boiling it down to something that has been done. So but as you say, do you think this is something that people are going to be talking about in a certain number of years, or is it one of those ones where
I think
is it going to be talked about for awards? That's what I wondered. Like, it didn't do well in cinema. It is still incredibly well made, so I wouldn't be surprised if people do.
I think it will. It should be on the awards scene. Definitely for things like cinematography and quality of the acting and things. Yeah, I think it definitely deserves it. For set design, costume design, production design. All the
the interesting thing about the Northman, its rating is on Rotten Tomatoes is extremely high.
Yeah, see, technically, it's an incredibly well put together film. I think it really is impressive.
Tomato
90%.
Actually, we should have done this actually, but what's IMDb got? Because that's the more the fan one, isn't it? Because I bet there'll be a lot of people.
7.3.
That's actually pretty good. What was it you always say?
Pretty
TJ,
good.
If it's above a 7, you said it's worth watching.
Yeah,
I said I gave it 3.5 stars, so that's pretty much spot on.
Yeah, worth watching.
Definitely film that people should watch.
Another revenge movie, Mandy.
Oh no! Yeah, go out, watch it, see what you think.
I think Mandy's going to become a cult movie as well.
I thought it already kind of was. I mean, that's why we heard about it. And I was like, it's supposed to be pretty decent, really great. I mean, it depends if you like Nick Cage.
No, when we watched it, it was quite new. But I think in 5-10 years' time, a lot of people will say, "Oh, you know what? That Nick Cage movie called Mandy, it's fucking crazy."
It is crazy.
You've never heard of it, but you should watch it. That's what people will be saying. Just like with this, you heard of that film called Northman?
It's not going to happen.
But that dude goes crazy and kills him.
People are going to watch it. What the fuck's that?
Yeah, but that's half the story, ain't it?
You know what? It's not going to become like Inseminoid cult classic, is it?
Oh God, not Inseminoid. But...
What was that we were saying about things being forgotten? What was the name again? I've forgotten it already.
Inseminoid. Good grief.
Yeah, we'll see whether there's any, like I said, buzz about things. I think it's not going to make any of the top categories. But it may end up hitting a few, like you said, like those kind of technical nominations.
It should get nominated.
Yeah,
I don't see why it shouldn't get nominated.
Do you mean like main performances, directing? It's like I wouldn't.
For all those areas.
It is the kind of it is the kind of film they like. It is the kind of film they like to nominate for things like this, isn't it? There is an element usually of that have you made something that's Oscar bait?
I never watch those arty-farty movies which get nominated for Best Picture, so I wouldn't know, but I think it does. So far from the movies that have come out this year, I think it deserves to be nominated for Best
Picture. Let's think of it this way. I believe The Witch was a superior movie.
Yes, I would agree. I think so. I think it's. I would say that's his best. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the two that I've seen.
That came out about 6-7 years ago. Has it become some sort of?
That's a cult hit. Yeah.
I was gonna say that one.
A lot of people talk about that when they talk about horror movies.
They'll say if you want to see
people
horror,
say, you should watch The Witch. It's a good movie. Fucking great movie.
Great fucking movie.
Great fucking movie.
So yeah, I think this will become a cult movie in a few years' time.
Probably rightfully so. It was very funny when we came out of the cinema, of course, and there was the gent who disagreed with it.
Yeah. Oh, load
When he-
flip those are fucking it.
What the hell was that? Or something that he said.
What about?
Right load of rubbish.
It's getting
That
better
made me-
watch footage, isn't it?
It made me laugh. Oh, were you put off by it? Something we haven't mentioned is the fact that we ended up going to a version that was subtitled.
Subtitles, yeah, that does
No,
ruin
it was
it a
for
little
the
bit.
not. It wasn't
Yeah.
sub. It was for the audio. I'm assuming for
Or
the
it's AD
hearing
audio description.
impaired.
Yes.
Yeah, audio description. That's the way, because it had
Indeed,
the sound effects. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That didn't. Okay, I kept kind of your eyes drawn to it, but it didn't really pull me out of the film. I thought. I still thought it's the first time I've ever been to one.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's one thing that's cinema. Sometimes you accidentally book an AD viewing. You don't know you've done it.
Well, it was the only showing that worked for us, wasn't it?
Yeah, there weren't many showings. That's what I was just saying about. It's so difficult to catch certain films before they
Because
they
it's
just can't.
a random movie.
I try to, but they already almost set it up to fail because they don't think it's going to be.
I guess we can't really go into part 2 of this stream properly because 1 out of 3 of us hasn't seen it, but we can talk about Top Gun a bit.
I haven't seen it. No, I'll tell you what.
Spoiler-free discussion.
I actually wanted to watch it at the IMAX, but
have you? Oof. Is it? So it's not on an IMAX anymore. What's replaced it?
I think today and tomorrow, last days, and that's it.
What's going to be the next big one? Is it Jurassic
Park? World Dominion or whatever it's called.
Is that out yet?
Next week or something. That's what I'm saying. I'm assuming that's what's taking over. I think it's next week.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath on that one.
No. Apparently, the review's not great. But Top Gun.
Is that tomorrow, Carlos?
Amazing.
So that might be the next one.
It's out. Is it? That's right, because Top Gun has got one last viewing tomorrow at the IMAX, and that's it. So I missed it.
It's worth going to see.
I definitely recommend it. I think this will be a fun one to discuss properly as well. I said, do you want to do just a very quick takeaway from me, because I haven't really had a chance to talk to either of you about it.
Just give me your bullet points. Go on.
Yeah, that's funny because it was you.
Just give your high-level summary of what you thought about the film.
That's what I mean. So TJ was very surprised that you thought I might not. I think it's a really enjoyable film that sets up its goals, what it wants to do, very nicely. So it's plotted very well. It introduces elements of the history and the future, as in the present in the film, very nicely, and tries to join them up very well. And it's just, I had to say, kind of really good fun, and has tense bit of tension, nice bit of drama, and a few moments that are actually proper heartfelt moments, I thought. Yeah. So overall, I had an incredibly good time. I wasn't thinking I'd enjoy it quite that much because I haven't. It's
not your kind of film.
Top Gun hasn't got a really I haven't got a soft spot for it. It's not something that was like one of my favorite films really from growing up or anything like that. I liked it. It was fine. It's a good film, but it's not something I go back to and watch. So I was very surprised how much I really liked this one. But there are still quite a few flaws that I'd love to have a chat about, because there's some really big bits that I could have a bit of a laugh about where they made certain decisions and things, or didn't follow through with something. But overall, great fucking movie.
Very good.
Great movie. And all of that's true, but if you are a fan of the original, like I am, and you're a dude like I am, I think it's
the music was good.
The music was excellent. The first scene, as soon as the first scene started, and the music hit, I was like, well, this is me all over. I was like, pass me tissues. This is way too much now.
They have credit.
It's fucking awesome. It was awesome. And I don't think I can't pick anything wrong with it really. So for me, it's definitely a 4, maybe even a 4.5 stars. But 8 or 9, definitely.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what you think. As in Sanjay, see what you think, and then we can actually dig a little bit more into it. And I can definitely highlight a couple of things that I thought were really funny. I didn't care at that point. Flaws. I really didn't care. I honestly didn't, because it's so much fun. It's such a good. It is actually, and the like you talk about what is like classic Hollywood, like good classic Hollywood film. It's that.
It feels like a proper sequel to Top Gun. It feels like if it was made like 2 or 3 years after the original with the same folk and with all that shit, it's absolutely on the money.
Mm-hmm.
It's brilliant.
Doesn't take away from the original at all.
Yeah. So I guess it's the next movie, other than Top Gun, the next movie, Carlos, that we're going to go see is probably Thor.
Right? I can't wait. Cannot wait.
Yeah. Oh, you're creaming yourself. Look at you. Just wait yourself. Look at you.
We can watch Thor trailers because Disney are a bit more lenient. Disney don't do shit.
Can't get in trouble. Have you seen the latest one? Because it was on when I went to. Was it last? I can't remember what I saw last week.
Hang on
when I went
second.
last week, I saw the full length, new one with. Have you guys both seen it?
I'll put it on. Wait,
the latest trailer. Yeah. Have you seen the latest trailer?
Don't think so.
Oh, in that case, I won't mention.
I'm putting it on. All right.
I won't mention a couple of things in it.
All right, here we go.
Oh, there it is.
Jane?
Because I didn't get any audio, actually. New outfit. Ooh. Is that like a mysterious sword?
Oh, there he is.
That's apparently like ripped off straight out of a panel from a comic.
Mm.
Or a front cover, I think, maybe. So, funnily enough, I actually haven't seen this version.
You gotta wait for it. They made a grape joke. Unbelievable.
There you go. Actually, I haven't seen that version. The last one I saw in the cinema was a different version. No, it ends like the last scene in the one in the cinema. It ends with her catching the hammer.
Okay, that was the teaser trailer. So that was
bulked out.
This was the first official trailer that came out. So
so that was probably the first one. So I've seen the second only, I think.
I don't have a good feeling about this.
You don't?
No, I don't.
I'm still excited. He did say it was a bit out there, didn't he? Taika Waititi said, I may have ended my directorial career. He said it was a bit of a risk or something like that. That would be interesting.
Yeah. It'll be fairly. I mean, Marvel films are always safe, but
yeah, sometimes sadly a little bit. I really wish we had an Edgar Wright Ant-Man. That's a shame. Never mind. Right, shall we?
An hour and a half. We can end it there, I think, and we'll schedule the next one. Maybe the first official one.
The first for actual episode one.
Hang on a minute. Should we do that thing though, where we do episode 6 and then we'll do prequel episodes afterwards?
Oh,
like doing episode 1, 2, 3. We've got to give ourselves some room.
We're not going to start on 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah. Because people think, oh man, these guys are They're already up to
They've been going for
4.
ages.
Man, damn, these guys are good.
They've
You're
been
gonna do it. Do it.
professional.
Yeah,
Good.
absolutely.
Excellent.
Do you want me to leave this on YouTube for a bit, or should I take it down?
Oh, absolutely happy for you to leave it. Up to you.
Leave it.
I'll leave it.
Fine. Don't bother me. We'll
Yeah.
get some followers.
It's
Hour
been
and
a
a half.
pleasure.
Carl is droning on.
All right.
Have you seen my my avatar?
Oh, you get an avatar, dude.
Can you see it?
You fucker.
It's worth it for the reaction.
You bloody bastard.
All too
That's
easy.
mine. That's actually mine.
How can it be yours if it's my avatar?
It's mine.
What's your avatar?
Mine. It's
Your avatar is a dude
mine.
with a cigar.
Was it on YouTube for you first?
It's mine. Mine.
Patent pending.
Just saying
Dude,
it doesn't make it
Look
true.
at it. English.
Not at all. I'm quite proud of that. I quite like it. Let me put it back up.
It's
No,
fantastic.
no, it's mine.
Just going to upset him even more.
All right, cool. Let's end
Right.
it there then.
Yeah, it's
and
been a
we
pleasure,
shall talk
gents.
soon.
It's
Yeah.
been a real pleasure, isn't it? With that, thank
Speak-
you very much.
Speak soon and we'll do the next.
You bastards.
Bye bye, toodaloo. I'll end the broadcast. Ciao.